is ruining science.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
Science and technology have always been a vital part of the Marvel comic universe. Since its beginning in 1939, Marvel has been integrating both science and technology into their heroes and villains alike.
Because if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
Is that why you've come? To end the Avengers?
I've come to save the world. But also, yeah.
Or maybe not so alike. The depiction of science and technology, or S&T, in Marvel Comics has been an ambiguous topic debated by both scientists and comic readers. As argued by Alessandro Muscio, S&T has a negative impact on characters and therefore carries a negative connotation for the public. Which means, unless you're Bruce Banner or Peter Parker, if you're exposed to a scientific catastrophe, you are likely to become a villain. And hey, I get it. If I took a mystery serum and didn't come out glowing like Chris Evans, I would be pretty mad too.
Back to formula.
As explored in the paper, the amount of villains that resulted from scientific catastrophe far outweighs the number of heroes that resulted from a similar event.
Dr. Olivia Octavius.
For instance, the first X-Men comic, published in 1991, depicts the X-Men's greatest rival, Magneto, as a genius with training in genetics, robotics, particle physics, and other technology fields, who eventually uses science to create the army of mutants which we know today. These mutants, like many others, are portrayed as heroes, which begs the question, what about the heroes created from science and technology?
May I remind you, Dr. Pym, that you're a soldier and
I'm a scientist.
then act like one.
Heroes like Daredevil, the Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man are all ones that benefited from scientific catastrophe.
Come on, flame on!
And heroes like Iron Man, Captain America, and Vision are ones born from scientific innovation.
You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
In some cases, heroes and villains even share the same scientific catastrophe or innovation, but are simply defined as good and evil based on certain personality traits. A perfect example of this is Tony Stark and Ultron. Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, is an egotistical scientist and billionaire whose ambition often leads him to make grave mistakes, including the creation of Ultron. Ultron is a direct creation of Tony's villainous traits, like blind ambition, risk-taking, and a big ego, which makes Ultron evil.
Ultron can't tell the difference between saving the world and destroying it. Where do you think he gets that?
Despite this direct proof of Tony's dark traits and his self-proclamation of being a mad scientist,
We're mad scientists. We're monsters, buddy.
Tony is still deemed a hero. Why? A lot of the times when heroes and villains experience the same scientific catastrophe or have the same technological power, the defining distinction between them is their intentions and how they deal with the consequences of their actions. Even though Ultron and Tony both have the same goal of saving the world, Ultron thinks this means replacing humanity with technology, while Tony thinks technology should protect humanity. This clear difference in end goals between characters with similar abilities is how heroes and villains are defined. But these heroes are still in the minority. Take a look at the graph from this paper. This shows that the number of heroes with an S&T power is only 44.8% compared to the 61.4% of villains that have an S&T related power. This includes villains such as Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Lizard, Red Skull, the Spot, Doctor Doom, the Yellow Jacket, Sandman, Hydra Man, Ultron, Mr. Sinister, Ragnarok, the Ghost, Arnim Zola, Abomination, the Leader, Magneto, Anti-Man, Jackal, Dark Beast, Jonas Harrow, and many, many others. Along with the negative connotation around scientific breakthrough is the depiction of the scientists themselves. Like many other forms of media, Marvel Comics is guilty of depicting scientists as obsessive mad characters who often neglect the consequences of their innovations. This depiction is almost always associated with the character that becomes a villain. Overall, Marvel's depiction of both the scientists and their work leads to serious negative societal perceptions of science, which halts innovation. But don't take it from me. Here's what one of the villains themselves has to say.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.